If you're too airy, I want you to purposely get more nasal. And you may not be able to do it at first, but you're trying to add compression to your sound. Hi, I'm Draven Gray with the Unleashed Singer, where we combine over 50 years experience as professional singers, songwriters, performers, and teachers and more to help you become the singer you've always wanted to be. I first want to say that if your teacher has told you to stick with a certain voice range, that you're a natural baritone or whatever, and you can't sing high, then either they don't know what they're talking about or just don't know how to get you where you want to go. Unless you have a medical issue holding you back, you're not limited. You're just not limited. You need a better teacher. So I'm not saying that vocal categorization or vocal fach is not necessary for certain things. They're good for pre-written parts. I talk about that elsewhere quite a bit. Pre-written parts where they need this specific type of sound, this specific range, this specific type of build of person. And, that makes sense to categorize you. You're not limited though. So if a teacher tells you you're limited, go somewhere else. All right. Or, hire me or one of my teachers on the Rock Singing Lessons team and on the singer team. Just find a good teacher, whatever you do. Find someone who can help you reach your goals and really knows how to do it. And I want to say, the world record for range is G8 for a man, I believe, G8, and E10 for a woman. That's like dog whistle range, man. Once you get up there, you don't really need to sing any higher. It's almost out of the human hearing range. I can say I'm a natural baritone. I can sing, let's see, that's C4, C3, C2. I'm a natural baritone with a bass extension. So C2 to like a B5. So let's see, C3, 4, C5. Oh, I can go up to that B5. So C2 to B5. Honestly, on a good day, and I don't want to do this on camera right now, but on a good day where my voice is feeling really good, I can go down to an A1. Extend it down pretty low and up to a C6. Every now and then I go a little bit higher than that. And I'm a natural baritone with a bass extension. Come on. You're not limited. Now, let me give you the top 5 exercises to increase your voice range. The top 5. First, get comfortable with singing in light head voice. You need to be able to sing in that angelic or Mickey Mouse voice. Oh, you're up here. Whatever. I'm doing kind of scales, but just singing stuff that's high, singing stuff on songs you like on purpose, an octave higher, and trying to get a little compression in that. A lot of people have a problem with head voice, which is the foundation for singing up high. A lot of people will actually be too airy with it. So just think, if you don't have control over the head voice yet, you need to build into that control over the head voice so you have those foundations. If you're too airy, I want you to purposely get more nasal. And you may not be able to do it at first, but you're trying to add compression to your sound. It's not going to sound good. You're not going to sing like that normally, but you're building more compression for your voice. Okay, I want you to try that maybe as resonant tracking or buzzing the front of the mouth while humming. Think up and out on an M. You're trying to buzz the lips in the front of the mouth. You're trying to buzz the nose. You're engaging what's called twang compression. That you're getting that epiglottis to come down a bit, the larynx to tilt forward and amplify that sound and give you better compression. You need that for singing in head voice. Some people, they have no problem with singing they have no problem with airiness in their voice. Instead, they're over-constricting, they're choking, or it's ha, ha, ha. If that's happening to you, you need to open up to more ah-ishness. Relax the glottis a bit. Cry into it a bit more instead of pushing it. That may not sound great at first either, but that's okay. You're learning to open it up, get out of choking, and then relaxing into the right position. I can say if you're really constricting and choking off, start with a wind and release onset, or that is wind and then release into a singing vowel. That is like an H, an aspirate onset that opens into an E. Now, if you're too airy, you wouldn't be doing this. If you're too constricted, you're too choking, you're too compressed, do this. Do that H, a wind and release, aspirate onset. Second, cry, whimper, yawn into the high notes. Okay, we want to try to relieve some tension up there. Maybe it's a little too hard to sing those. Maybe you're pushing a lot into them. You actually need more lift and cry, not push. So if I'm up here, you think of that as yawn. And then I relax into that vowel. For women, maybe you're a little bit higher. I'm actually using a yawn to get into a cry, a top-down whimper, a top-down resonance that's lifting and going up behind the nose, up towards the brow, rather than pushing. In fact, I would say cry because of how it thins out the glottis, like stretches out like a rubber band and gives you more compression in the middle rather than flexing to get more compression. It just makes singing easier in general. And there's some other benefits to cry too. And you'll feel it. You'll know it when you try it, once you start getting it. It's a whimper. Just add a little bit of whimper to your voice. That helps you get up and out with your voice. So anytime you want to push to sing something, cry it more instead. You cry it more instead. Just maybe yawn it a little bit. Track and whimper on a lifted NG for more top-down resonance. So we're talking about tracking on an M. You know, humming, buzzing the lips, the front of the mouth on an M to give you more compression. What about an NG? A hung, hung. I'm closed off on that NG. And I'm able to lift up into that to feel top-down resonance, to get more into a top-down whimper, get more into cry. The third thing you can do is build up strength in the chest voice muscles. You know, build it up high for easier mixing of the chest and the head voice resonance. You know, that's what mixed voice is. It's head voice with some chest voice musculature and resonance mixed back into it. So you can strengthen those up. You know, that maybe they're not thick enough, maybe they're not quite strong enough to hold the position up high of a nice mix or a belt in that type of shape with the extra compression in it and extra openness and the larynx dampening stuff of a belt. You know, maybe that shape is harder to hold because you're not strong enough yet, especially for those really high ones. So I want you to do a dampen and release onset, a B. Think something that dampens the larynx. Any plosive will work. Let's use a B. B, B, B. And that's helping me engage all the muscles I use to be loud, to hold the larynx, to thicken up the vocal folds, to get some extra compression in the vocal folds. All of those are getting engaged. So that B, B. And I'm not trying to sing opera. I'm trying to just sing loud and engaged. Okay, that's strengthening. Now, I'm singing loud and engaged because I'm trying to strengthen the muscles, not because I'm singing a song. I would rather do that in a training routine and build strength than to do it in a song where I can just shape better. And then if it's not working, I go back to the training routine to keep building strength. I don't push. I cry more when I'm singing a song. Okay. After a few weeks of strengthening like that, bay, going through fists like that, going individual notes, getting over your bridge, you know, pulling that chest up a little bit higher, then I want you to try to sing in head voice and mix in chest voice. It may flip like that. That's fine. It flips some days on me. It's not smooth every time, but you're getting a little bit of chest voice into your head voice, okay? Let's make that the fourth thing you can do. Start increasing your voice range. We'll call that TA isolation. You're isolating your TA muscles, your thyroid arytenoids, your chest voice muscles, the muscles responsible for thickening the vocal folds and giving you more surface area and a chestier sound. And you heard me do it already. I went from light mass head voice into a cried mixed voice where I started connecting things, but I'm going back and I'm over whimpering. And that sits on top of the throat. If it flips a little bit, that's okay, as long as you're getting it lighter and lighter the more you do it. That's okay if it does that. Just don't get strong yet. Try to keep it lighter. So you're starting to mix in the TA muscles into your head voice. You're mixing in chest resonance into your head voice and getting a mixed voice. And then I want you to keep going, increase the resonance, increase your breath support, and start going forward, start getting more pressure behind the nose and up into the eyes, up into the brow, and getting more compression. You're moving to a belt shape. So it goes from sitting on top of the throat to being more behind the nose, or pressure moving into the nose from behind. Some people feel that in the eyes. You're getting into the mask. For women, that would be more up here. It's called a TA isolation. And you would start, honestly, any note just above your bridge. Maybe if that's too difficult, start just below your bridge. Start below your voice break. When you're really light and you're singing, your voice will break into head voice a certain spot. Start around there and then work your way up in half steps and keep building that coordination. It's an amazing coordination builder. And it kind of tells you what your maximum is on the notes that you're singing, because you're going all the way up to that belt vocal mode, but you don't want to shout. It'll tell you what your current maximum is while you're still building strength with the dampener release we talked about. So the fifth thing, let's build better compression strength. Let's use a quack and release onset, a hyper twang, by being really forward with it. This separates constriction from compression. Gives you better compression control. It gives you better control over where you're placing your acoustics, because you're not just quacking, you're releasing into a nicely tuned and nicely cried singing vowel. Okay, so this is an amazing exercise for building compression in your voice. I already mentioned about getting quacky in your head voice. If you're airy, you could do this exercise in head voice too and start extending your voice range. So first, let's build up strength and coordination for compression in your chest voice and your mixed voice before you do it in the head voice. What this is an let's simplify it. There's multiple steps to this, but let's simplify it. Let's make it a ye or a me, which is really nasal. It's really forward. Let's start there and then tune up and back a little bit. You're rolling it back on the soft pellet to be just behind the nose, to be just behind the eyeballs, just to be in cry, be on an eh. So that's me. And keep going up. You probably can't do that, what one of my students called mosquito sound. Maybe you can't get it that far forward at first. That's okay. You will over time. This is about building strength and coordination of compression. You're not going to be able to do it perfectly at first. You need to build into it. And then, at some point, you're going to get up to a certain point, especially for men. Once you get up here, maybe that doesn't work. You tried it a couple times, it's not working. Switch to head voice. You may notice that it takes a little bit more effort, a little bit more support to get the quack in head voice, but then you have to back off a little bit to get it tuned to a nice singing vowel. So now you have a training routine for increasing your voice range. Each exercise can start in your chest range. I would say the highest pitch of your chest range, and then work up to the top of your range from there using 5-tone scales, slides, or melodies, or just single notes. But do this whole thing 3 to 5 times a week. Split them up if you have to, as long as you're doing every exercise 3 to 5 times a week, even if they're on different days, you're going to get some results. You're going to start training regularly, and you're going to see some significant results within the next few weeks. Track and whimper on an M or an NG to more top down, M for more compression. You'll get more balance and resonance in your voice with those. It's called a semi-occluded, partially closed phonation. We'll get into that another time. An M and NG, balance that compression and air support. Get better resonance, okay? So you're buzzing, you're tracking, you're buzzing on a nasal, you're buzzing the front of the mouth, you're buzzing right behind the nose, that area. and then gain incredible control over your mixed voice with TA isolation. Like that. And also keep you from shouting on higher notes. Then strengthen your muscles, strengthen your voice up, thicken them up so you don't feel like you're having to lift as heavy of a weight as you go up higher. Strengthen them up with dampen and release. Bay, maybe you can't go that high yet. That's fine. You're starting more around your bridge. Strengthen and get more control over compression with quack and release. And that's going from quack, going from nasal, going up and back a little bit. So you're behind the nose, you're lifted, you're going up and out with that vowel. Okay, you have a full training routine now. And if you want a teacher to walk you through it, my team at rocksinginglessons.com or onlysinger.com, same teachers, they can help you. They can tailor that training routine to you. And they can tailor it to your goals and what you're wanting and the songs you want to sing. If not us, find a teacher to help you with this. And I'll talk to you soon.